Pushing the limits. We're back.
Thanksgiving edition. Woo.
Thanksgiving edition. For you, it's a big thing. Like, talk me through Thanksgiving as a Brit. Never really celebrated it, but it just looks like Christmas to me.
We've celebrated it before, man. You weren't there last year, but you bring a turkey, you get all of your friends, get some good drinks, some good stuffing, all kinds of sides, and just enjoy life. Eat as much as you can, and then you have a meal for the next week.
No, it sounds like a riot. We're doing it this week. Yeah. This week, man. I think last year I was with old Charlie, probably racing cars. But but talking about Charlie, I've known this guy for over a year. Legend in the ecosystem. Man, the guy's done so much for the Middle East, for Salesforce. His story is unique. I think anyone who knows him at Salesforce definitely knows that he's not had that normal journey, but he's definitely cemented himself. Charlie, Maher, welcome to Pushing the Limits. Finally, you're here, dude.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be here. It's been a long time coming, I think, this one. So excited to kind of have a chat with you guys and see where this conversation goes.
A lot of people ask for you, see. A lot of people, Russ was saying, mate, you need to get Charlie on. I think a lot of people in the office know your character, your personality, your journey. I suppose for those that don't know you, tell us who you are. Where did it start, man?
Yeah, so I guess, of course, Charlie, I've been with Salesforce almost 6 years now at this stage. I started with Salesforce in our Dublin office, working as a BDR, and then it's been a pretty rapid climb through the ranks to eventually end up here in Dubai. It's genuinely been an incredible journey from day one, and I think for me, it's kind of special because for a long period I wanted to work at Salesforce and I couldn't even get an interview.
Really?
For a while, yeah.
How many times did you apply?
About 5.
Don't they have that rule, the 6-month rule?
I don't know. I mean, I wasn't changing my name in the CVs or anything, but I was still trying my best. No, I was at Vodafone before, and a friend of mine moved to Salesforce. And once he got here a few months in, he was like, this is the place for you. He was like, I think you could do really well here. And the more he told me about Salesforce and what they did and how they worked and the structure and everything, I was pretty much sold. So I tried. Even when I got my first role as a BDR, I'd actually applied for a different role, which I didn't get. And I rang them back up and said, what if I started at BDR? So I did the interview process again, started there, and then the rest, as they say, is history. So
Mate, what a journey, man. Do you still keep in touch with that friend?
Yes.
Because I always think, like, my friend got me into Salesforce and tech, and I always think if that friend never referred me, how different my journey would have been.
Yeah, I mean, I think he stopped referring me in the end because nothing was coming back. But,
he got his referral fee in the end, right?
I don't think he ever got anything, but I mean, yeah, it was a bit of a waiting game, and it actually happened at a really weird time because it happened just after we'd come back from traveling. So me and my now wife at the time I'd quit my job completely, and we went and traveled the world for a year.
Phone sales went down.
Yeah, that's it. And we come back from traveling, and after a year out, and obviously one of the places I looked at immediately was Salesforce, and it all kind of just happened and worked at exactly the right time, and here I am, I guess.
And what was the interest in moving to the software space from telco? My specialty is telco, so it's an amazing place to be, especially putting the two worlds together. But what was the?
You got tired of selling phone insurance.
So it's for me when I first got involved in sales, I was always looking for areas where there were high opportunities, high levels of opportunities. And even when I went to Vodafone, right, it was around kind of the time when iPhones were becoming a part of everyday life. That transition to when iPhones came out and then all of a sudden everyone you knew went from having a mixed basket of phones to all having iPhones. They were all the apps were coming out. You could start to do so much.
Taking me back, taking me back. I'm still thinking about Nokia 3210.
Exactly, right? When you could change the phone covers. They were great days. But telco became a really, really fast-moving environment, and I wanted to be part of that because I saw the potential growth working with the telco market at that particular instance. And that was what led me into Vodafone. Was I wanted to be part of that. Because I just saw the opportunity there. And then with Salesforce, it was very similar. Vodafone at the time, and I believe still are, were using Salesforce, and I was quite comfortable with it. And we had like Salesforce champions in Vodafone.
So you got to use the system as a user.
Exactly. And I started to learn more and more about what Salesforce did and the technology they had and how it was used within business. And obviously we're coming off the back of, I guess, the financial crises that occurred in the early 2000s. And technology was starting to become an even more, shall we say, how do I put this? I guess...
there was money there, see?
There was money there, but it was so important. It became so important, the rate at which technology started to move forward, and the systems that businesses were using to operate on a day-to-day were becoming more and more important. And we're better to get into that place than Salesforce, essentially the kings of CRM, and everything else that goes with it. So for me, it was just, it ticked all the boxes, and I really wanted to get in and be a part of it.
Is it Microsoft ever tempt you?
I did interview for Microsoft.
Hey, I knew it. You know what? A lot of people start, or like SAP, Siebel, back then was huge.
So,
Oracle.
Yeah, but this was way before Salesforce. So when I was at Vodafone, someone got in touch with me from Microsoft. I went in for an interview, and I got the role. And then I went back to Vodafone at the time to tell them that I was on the way out. And then I went back in the next day, and I had a new contract waiting for me.
They counter offered you, right? They counter offered you.
So to keep me,
but that shows they valued you, man.
Yeah, and that was really important for me. I really didn't see it coming, and maybe overlooked it, but it showed that I had worth.
How different it could have been, though, dude. You could have literally been at Microsoft right now.
Yeah. So I stayed.
You could have been working for the competitor, selling CRM in the Middle East. But you're here, man. Like with sales, though, see, having been in it for over 20 years myself, no one plans to go into sales. How did it start for you? Like, when did you know?
Yeah, it was an interesting
that
one.
Sales was like for you, and when did you know you were good at it and had what it took?
So, I think I've always been quite a charismatic person, even for a young age, that cheeky chappy kind of person, right? So I actually started out as a plumber. So when I left school at 16, and I got an apprenticeship with the local council to do a plumbing apprenticeship. And I did that, and then I did other things as well, like carpentry and all that. So I became what was called a multi-trade operative. And I did that for a period of time. So I was on the tools for I was
going to say you look like a plumber, but then who looked like
yeah.
But I feel like listening to this, like the natural transition for me would be like plumber to architect, because it's really the same thing, solving problems, just not physical problems, like
exactly.
system problems,
I mean, it was a weird one. And just a lot of my friends at the time were like, started to get jobs in sales and stuff like that, and they were like, you should work in sales. Like, I think you could enjoy it. And I mean, let's be honest, you can enjoy it a lot more than sitting around toilets for most of the day and fixing.
It's a tough job, plumbing. Like, especially being a multi-trader. But I feel like that career, like, is so different to what you do now. Like to what you do now. Did you always know that? Did you always knew growing up as well that you had that personality? Were you a little bit out of the box? Were you that guy in the group that was a bit more loud, charismatic?
I don't think so. Like where I'm from in North London, everyone was kind of like that. That was just how we were as kids, and the kind of environment that we grew up in. But for me, I didn't really know what I wanted to be when I was younger. I wanted to be a footballer. Was never good enough at that. Wanted to be a singer. Used to love just singing and dancing around the house and stuff as a kid.
What was your favourite music back then?
I mean, it was Backstreet Boys as a kid, wasn't it?
Hey, you were talking about Usher a minute ago off camera.
Usher, of course, as I got older, but I think the first one, when I was growing up, there was different bands around at the time. So there was all different music, and my parents, my mum especially loved music, so there was always music on in our house. And my grandparents as well, like always music on, so I just loved that. And then I wanted to be a race driver or Formula 1 driver. That was the dream for me.
That's where the cars come in. For the people that don't know, like, Charlie's got an amazing collection, but obviously massively into cars. Came to Dubai.
Bought a Nissan Sunny. Still getting everyone on shakes.
It's a micro. Not quite.
You got to start somewhere. But then for you, when they had the opportunity to come to Dubai, was it instant yes? Was it, I need to speak to the missus? Because at that point, like, were you within Salesforce, without jumping too much, like, how did that first 2-3 years go? Like that first 1 to 2, 3 years, like, were you just up?
Yeah, I was, everything I try and do in life in general, both inside and outside of work, it's like there's this little switch in my head. It's like, whatever you do, you have to give it everything. You have to try and be the best at everything. Like, if you're not first, you've lost, right? It's and I've had that from a very young age. But for me, yeah, I mean, coming in to Salesforce, I wanted to be here for such a period of time that I felt the minute I got in the door, that was it. I was ready to go. I was completely ready for whatever was going to come and make the most of the opportunity in front of me. And it started from day one. Like from the minute I got in the door, they gave me the target, and I have this weird way of working, which some people probably do the same, is I see a target as the absolute bare minimum to be the same as kind of everyone else that you work with and reach the standards that are expected. That's your target, right? That's an expectation. That's really criteria one for anything you do, especially in a sales environment. So I always double that number. Whatever target I'm given, whatever the achievement is that I want to try and aim for, I set it in my mind to being something far beyond that, so that if I do fail, at least I'm probably going to end up somewhere decent. And yeah, I mean, I've had amazing people around me from day one, especially the transition from BDR into an account exec. And I actually tried to go for South Africa, because after traveling, I loved Africa. I fell in love with the place. It was such a cool place. And there wasn't space on the team at the time. So they said, you know, we'd like to have you, but would you do it for the UAE? And it was a very hard second option to agree to. But
did you ever think about the UAE or Dubai at that time?
Wasn't on my mind.
Now look at you, man. How many years have you been in now?
So yeah, working with this market almost 5 years with the UAE just alone. So I mean, look, the trajectory continued, but yeah, it wasn't the first option for me. I really wanted to do something with Africa and do something that could help that economy, and yeah, UAE was where I ended up. And yeah, I mean, what an amazing opportunity. You know, we haven't really looked back since. It's been incredible. The culture out here, the business culture, the speed at which things are done, the people that you work with on a day-to-day, the environment that the UAE has with people that work within businesses, especially in the SMB space. You meet so many people that are starting out, finding their feet with all these incredible ideas, and you get to be part of it and support them on that journey, and you just learn so much.
And they're so new to Salesforce as well, right?
Man,
so
yeah,
then
just-
like
yeah.
them,
That like energy of, you know, everyone grinding and trying to make something of themselves, and like everyone supporting each other.
you
It's
can't slow down in the
amazing.
Middle
It's
East. Like you
contagious.
can't like
It's contagious.
it's not. It's got the similarities to maybe America and the UK, but I don't think it's just a rat race. I feel like here,
Yeah.
like people generally want to make it, and,
Yeah.
and it's like that American dream type of
It's
mentality.
like,
It is.
it's like how,
It's
how
exactly
Eminem
like
how
that.
Eminem said in one of his famous songs, "Success is my only option."
Yeah.
50
Failure's
Cent.
not,
Well, I'll
right?
let you have that, because you know what? G never quotes rap lyrics. He never quotes rap lyrics.
I'm
The fact that
trying
you
to be one
just
of the
dropped,
cool kids,
dropped
okay?
some 50 Cent.
Just hope 50 Cent's not going to watch this.
But you know what? Sales is like, it's tough in general, man. Like G owns a company that's doing really well, and like he naturally just is himself. And I think with sales, it's such a competitive game. Salesforce itself, as an AE, starting as a BDR, is super competitive. Where does that mindset come from? Like, what separates you from the rest to make it to where you have?
Yeah, I think the mindset thing, you have to really go back. So we won't go, you know, we'll go where we can, but from a young age, childhood was probably a little bit unorthodox, right? So you kind of see the people around you, and you grow up in an environment where people are just trying to make it, and it doesn't always work out, and you go through the kind of the natural hardships of life. And these are lessons that you probably can't learn, things that you can't learn in school and from other scenarios, right? And for me, it's an integral part of everything that I think I do and that I am, you know. And when you come from that kind of place, like, the weekends as a kid, my dad would pick me up, and I might spend my Saturday in a car garage because my dad was a mechanic. So he'd be working on the cars, working and grinding away, and I'd be sliding around because that was what you had to do. You had to always be on and try and work with what you had in front of you in the cards that you're dealt. And then even going on to, teenage years and stuff like that, my granddad was a massive, massive influence. So once I started kind of living with them, the weekends, I'd always work with him. If I had any time off, I'd always work with him. So the people in my family always had that kind of
graft.
Yeah, that
hustle.
graft, that natural hustle to kind of go out and do what you can, and if that means you've got to do a couple of extra hours here and there, and go and work on weekends at times when you've got, good jobs on and stuff like that, you got to do it. And when you see that and you start to appreciate everything that comes from that attitude and working hard, I think that's where the mindset comes from, to always try and do as much as possible, right? And I can never remember who said this, but I saw a quote when I was younger, and it was like, this guy, he did this talk, and one of the things he said right at the end of the talk that he did was like, the biggest question that you ask yourself every day is, when you look in the mirror, are you the kind of person that you would want your kids to be? And if the answer is no, then you go back to work, and you got to take accountability for that, and you got to go and do it yourself. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way that I see things, but it starts from the people around you, right, and the lessons that you learn along the way. And then now I'd say that mindset is probably an amazing thing to have, but I see it's frustrating as well, especially for family and stuff. It's like, when are you going to just calm down?
Because you never switch off, right?
No, I don't switch off at all.
But you've got, like, for those that don't know, your patch is relatively big, right? You look after many accounts, which is ever growing.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone wants a piece of Charlie, man. Anyway, I feel like after this podcast comes out, we're going to be like, people are going to be like, how the hell did they get hold of this guy?
But that's also a bit of a curse. I mean, if you have a small patch, you see everyone every day. You have really good close relationships with a bigger patch.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have to, it's difficult to maintain ties with everyone, give everyone enough love.
Yeah, and for me, relationships are critical, right? Especially in business, relationships are so key. And I always say this as well, right? I think more than 70% of what we do is trust in the person that you work with. You could have the best solution in the world, but if you don't trust the person that you work with and have a decent relationship to say, okay, this is the guy that we're going to spend X amount with, is going to help us support and grow our business, you're probably not going to do it. And for me, that comes into pretty much everything. And over the years, like, I've worked with, I'd say, almost every industry.
Really?
Working with UAE, from where I started to where I am now. And I've had different patches almost every single year. When you go through that trajectory, naturally there's going to be change along the way. So you have to kind of adjust quite quickly. But for me, it's about, you still have the same attitude. No matter what's in front of you and what you've got to work with, your job is to make the most of it that you can. And I always flip it. For me, it's the customer view, and it's the people that I work with. The minute someone works with Salesforce, my job is to make sure that they get the best they can out of Salesforce. That is it. I should be an extension of their business, and my responsibility is to make sure that for those using Salesforce, they get exactly what they want from it. They get the best they can out of the system, and that it helps them. So, and that's the way I think with everything. It's less so about the numbers, and I think when you think like that, the rest kind of falls into place maybe a little bit more naturally. Yeah,
it's like you invest in kind of the long-term success of the customer, and the side effect of that is, of course, they become more successful, they see more value out of the platform, they buy more licenses, etc. But it's a good synergy to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the biggest difference? Because a lot of people want to transition from places like the UK. We get it all the time, man. England's going down. It's depressing. Yeah. You come from North London. I'm from Manchester. You come from a place in America that you don't like to talk about. Wisconsin, right?
Wisconsin.
Nothing happens in Wisconsin, baby. What's the biggest difference to anyone that wants to start in the Middle East, that maybe come from tech in those regions, that you've noticed personally? Like, is there anything you had to go through or change in your style or approach to make you successful in this region?
That's a really good question, right? And I think it's maybe a little bit more difficult for me to answer that because I left the UK in 2015 and moved to Ireland. So the last 10 years, you know, before moving here, I was in Ireland, which now that's a serious adjustment.
You didn't remember much from there. Just Guinness coming to your mind. And stuff.
Is there really a big difference? I mean, coming from an American perspective, I always hear like UK, Ireland. To me, it feels more or less like one entity. Do you feel a big
London
difference?
to Dublin.
So London,
that's a transition.
Not even Dublin, like the countryside. Like I live in Westmeath, which is like
really
smack in the middle of Ireland. Yeah, like my neighbours are cows. At home. You know, there's no houses next door to me. There's just big fields.
That must have been a crazy transition from North London, dude.
Yeah, that was a big one, right? Because you've gone from this environment where everything is go, go, go. It's hustle and bustle. London is, you know, the origin of pretty much the
hub of Europe
race,
for tech, right?
Yeah. And it's very fast paced. That business culture is there, but then there's so many distractions for me, especially like, you know, you can do anything in London, similar to what you can do here now in UAE, right? There's so much you can do with life in general, and it becomes distracting and disorientating. Especially when you're young, you're growing up in the city and you want to do a million things at once, right? Every week you want to do something new. So moving to Ireland, I think, gave a massive sense of calm and renewed focus and maybe matched or complemented the ambition that I had, because I think that kind of, again, that mindset was always there. But in London, it's just, there's so much. Moving to Ireland, it's a lot more calm, especially out in the countryside, right? It's much easier to kind of hone in on what you actually want to do, where you want to go with your work and do things like that. So that was probably a massive, massive transition. But I think I kind of took to that quite comfortably. And coming over to here, the UAE was like, it was back into the city again.
Action.
But because I travelled so much over the last 5 years, you know, back and forth to the UAE, being based out of the office in Dublin, living in Westmeath in the country, I was already kind of ready for when the opportunity came, I think, to come back to the city, because I love city life.
Yeah.
I think if you're from a city, it's very hard.
You miss it, man.
Yeah, to not love city life and everything that comes with it. So I think the change was probably more for my wife and stuff like that, but now all like super positive as well. Like, you know, I think she really enjoys it here now. So the change was probably
you go
not
back
so
to
much
London
on my
and it's
side.
like,
Yeah, even like Ireland, we go back to Ireland, it's like, what do you mean I can't order something, whatever I want, and it will be here in 15 minutes?
Spoils you, man.
What is
You're
this?
spoiled here. You're spoiled.
We were talking about this earlier, but just get a nanny and then you will never be able to go back.
Yeah, we're not at the nanny level yet, but I can see why a lot of people do it, especially when, you know, there's so much going on here. Yeah.
Off topic, see, I've got to mention it as a fellow tat guy who's got lots of ink.
Yeah.
Talk us through the tats, man. You know what? It's nice to see. G said he's getting 2 sleeves after this.
Yeah, that would be good.
I'll join the club.
He's gonna get pushing the limits with Salesforce right next to it.
Yes, all over.
Next edition of Pushing the Limits.
When did your first tat start?
Rebranded G.
What was your first tat?
16.
16?
I was young.
Did you sneak away and do it?
I was on holiday
Hey.
with friends. One of those. I'd always wanted tattoos. The first one was not anticipated. It was one of those where you're away with the lads and you know, you end up coming home with a tattoo. Wasn't the finest hour, that's for sure. But I used to love art. Art is something that I love, and I used to, you know, spend loads of time sketching and drawing and stuff, but I never wanted to do it on my own skin. So I just loved people with tattoos, and I was fascinated by it. And
How many you got now?
I mean, both my arms are done. My stomach is done as well. There'll be more soon as well.
I gave C my tattoo guy, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna reach out." I was like, "C's getting some serious work." Man.
Yeah, I need to see him very
The
soon.
beauty of Dubai, where they literally come to your house.
When you said that, I was like, that's crazy. This is a whole new thing. So I'm trying to put that off as long as possible, because I know once I get the first one, it'll be like the weekend. It'll be a tattoo guy around the house now, more than doing anything else. But I just loved.
I like that you got them out, man.
And
as well.
they all have their own unique little stories about them as well. Everything's kind of related to something. So yeah, I won't go into it, because we could probably do the whole podcast just talking about where the ideas for
People
the
were like, I thought this was about Salesforce and tech.
Yeah.
Started talking about tattoos and Bentleys. Turned into a proper Dubai podcast.
So yeah, and here we are with I'm now pretty covered.
No, I like it, man. For me, I feel like sales usually there's a lot of people that have come from creative backgrounds. Like we talk about Steve Clifford, who was in music as well. I was a musician.
What a guy.
G played the trombone and the saxophone, I think.
I actually played the trombone.
Did you?
I'm very bad at it, but for 2 years in middle school, yes.
Oh man, but no, I think it's personality, right? Like we were talking about it off camera. I think the one thing I say to people in the Middle East is that you don't have to put a mask on too much. Like your authentic self in sales, for me, always works. And there may be customers that don't take to you and your approach, or they don't like the product or whatever it is, but the majority in terms of long-term relationships will see through the BS and realize that actually Charlie, regardless of what he's trying to sell, is actually a really good guy. I trust him. He's honest. Yeah. And, you know, like I like him. And I think that's what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, that's critical, right? Again, I go back to the point I made about relationships, and authenticity comes with that. You know, the person that you see, whether you're speaking to me about, you know, a multi-million-dollar project, or whether you're talking to me, you know, in a pub at the weekend, or, you know, just anywhere in general with like the family and everything. For me, I feel like there's no, you couldn't split the two.
No, you never switch
You know,
up.
it's the same kind of thing. Like even with, you know, work events and stuff like that, sometimes I'll be at work and in the office during the day, and then the minute it's kind of, okay, the meetings are done, I'll go and put my shorts on and then meet everyone afterwards. And yeah, you know, it's important, especially in business as well, because that level of relationship you have, I think, again, it comes back to that point about trust, and naturally what goes with that is authenticity, right? So that is a true reflection of yourself and the person that you're going to be working with for potentially the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You know, you never know how long you're going to be working with a particular customer and client, and I think people genuinely respect that. It's again a massive thing, and I think people respect, you know, who you are and the type of person you are. But as long as you're able to articulate everything that you need to be able to do and work with someone in a very professional capacity, which we have to do. You know, we manage some really, really key accounts here in the UAE. The amount of businesses that come here on you know, a yearly basis, set up, that are fully established, it doesn't matter. It's, you want to be that person that people work with and they go, yeah, this is Charlie, this is a guy we're working with. But you have that good relationship, that good feedback where they go, you know, this guy is amazing. You're going to really enjoy working with him. And yeah, I mean, like even now, you know, there's customers I worked with years ago, and I see them, you know, when they'll be floating around the office, and they'll come up to me, and it's like the whole mood changes. Like there's a big smile on the face and everything like that, and they really enjoy.
You've got that aura,
you,
man.
and I love that. I love that.
But where does that come? Where does that come from? Like you must have had some really tough times in life, in your career, because people think if you work for a company like Salesforce or someone of that ilk, it's just all like glitz glamour, but it's tough, man. It's competitive. Targets are insane. You know, we're still relatively new to the region compared to our competitors like Microsoft. There's still a long way to go, right? There's been a lot of transitions, a lot of changes internally, setting up the office in KSA. Obviously a new GM. It's a lot, man, to deal with. It like what's been the biggest challenge in your career, or just your life in general? Is there anything that stands out where you were like, man, this is...
I don't know, and I probably won't know until I kind of look back when everything's kind of said and done and the dust has settled and maybe I'm retired, and think about what the biggest challenges are. But for me, it's just everything is a can-do attitude. Like every challenge is just an opportunity, is the way that I look at it. You know, whatever comes is what comes. And it goes back to that level of accountability. You know, that's just life. There's going to be things that happen that work out well. There's going to be things that don't. And for me, it doesn't matter. It's whatever it is, that's what's in front of you, and that's what you've got to kind of get around and just get through. And it's the same with work. Like nothing is a challenge. Like I come to work every day and I genuinely love my job. Like I love what I do. I love working with so many different people. I love working things out and finding new ways to do things. So the challenges are just, I don't see them as hardships anymore. I think maybe when you're younger you do, and you maybe have that kind of chip on your shoulder attitude. But as you get older, you just realize, you know, as you mature, and especially once you have kids and family and everything like that, that's just what it is. And again, it goes back to the lessons that you can learn outside of that working environment, and the people that you grow up around. Everyone's got a story. Everyone's gone through something where it's not, an ideal scenario to be in, or, things that have really tested them. But for me, and it goes back to, I think, again, especially my granddad, like, that's just life. That's just life. That's just what happens. Things happens, and you've just got to find a way to get through them and just constantly try and be better. So the challenges, yeah, I'm sure there's many. And maybe this podcast in 30 years' time, when we're all sitting here, I was going to say grey and old, but for me, it's a bit too late for that. Maybe for you. But
getting there, dude.
Yeah.
Getting there.
Then
I
we'll
found
come
my
back
first
to the
grey, man.
challenges.
That's what Dubai does to you. 2026 Salesforce. Any projections? Because a lot of people want to know. This year, I feel, has been positive. Like we're still, we're still coming to the end of it. We've still got December to go. We just started November. But what do you see for 2026? If you're someone looking to get into Salesforce within the Middle East, if you're an SI, if you're a candidate who's looking to relocate, is there anything that you project or predict or you can advise on?
And can I jump in here? There's one correct answer. Agent Force, right?
Agent
He's
Force.
got it on his cards.
Agent Force.
He's like, Russ is like, mention Agent Force.
One thing to mention, Agent Force. No, look, I mean, Agent Force is incredible. There's no doubt about it, right? It's a catalyst for, I think, everything that you're going to see coming and everything that's already happening with Salesforce. AI is just weaved into every single thing that we do now at this stage. And it's becoming a part of everyday life. AI is here, and it complements everything we can do. I'm still in that headspace where I don't see AI taking over at all, but I think for what we do, it can have a massive contribution into the day-to-day life of people that are out there working, doing things, the mundane tasks and stuff like that, where we can use AI to really capitalize on making the most from our days. And getting the best in terms of what we want to achieve in any given scenario, no matter what business you're in. AI is there now, it's being used. I'm sure that this podcast is going to be replaced by like AI editing soon and everything like that. Just
we won't even be here
take
anymore.
This bit out and just replace it with something new.
Have you heard the new AI remixes they're doing? Like, going off topic here, we're talking about music as well. Dude, I was listening to the soul ones, like Many Men, 50 Cent. Oh,
I was going to refer to the same one. Someone
DMX,
showed me this in
give
the
it to you,
office.
man. Listen to that one. Dude, it's like the fact that you can do that with music.
It's incredible.
Man, I saw this advertisement. There was like a neighborhood or community like designed by AI. I was like, okay, that's kind of a bit concerning, because like, what if it misses something? And robots don't really know exactly what humans want from a personal perspective. I feel like music is kind of the same thing. Music is something that you can't really like.
It's hard to. It's hard to.
It's
But
a
if
human
anyone's
thing,
going to
right?
do stuff like that, it's Dubai. I feel like the thing you got to love about Dubai is the innovation, like the fact that they're just always forward thinking. The flying taxis that are coming next year, what they're doing.
So we can have traffic jams in the sky, right?
I don't know if anyone's going to be in a rush to get into one of those, though. You know what I mean? It's like, who's really going to be the guinea pig to get into a flying taxi and test it?
Yeah, someone said that to me. They're like, "Would you be one of the first to go in it?" I was like, "It's Dubai, man. Like, you'd have some kind of like liability, hopefully, some kind of insurance."
Yeah, just a waiver. If anything bad happens, it's not on us. It's not on the taxi that you booked through an app. Like, no.
No, but I feel I do feel like you're right with Agent Force. Anyone that can upskill with it, or any partner that's looking to specialize, it's a good area. Do you think specialism in this region helps? You worked in so many different industries. See, like you've touched telco, you've touched manufacturing, you literally touched everything.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that's a big part of standing out from the crowd and separating yourself? Like specialism, industry, going into something like Agent Force. Obviously, we do industries, telco, revenue cloud.
Yeah.
Do you see the market going down a bit more of a specialist route?
I think, look, being a specialist in any field is always going to be critical to anything you do. But it goes back to, I think, the investment that we've seen in the region this year with Salesforce. Salesforce is always going to get bigger and better. And that's one of the things that I really love about it, right? Salesforce, they're always, their name's always going to be in the mix because they're always doing, such impressive stuff. Not just from a technology standpoint, but culturally as well. Like, they really get integrated into communities, ecosystems. They create ecosystems even. None of us would probably be here in this room today without Salesforce and what they do and how they contribute to the ethos and the dynamic that comes with that ecosystem. So, the way that we adapt and the things that we're able to do with our technology now are just incredible. And naturally, you have to have specialists because Salesforce does so much. Salesforce might have started as a CRM, but it's way more than that now. You know, it's so much more, and you need to have people that specialize in those areas, whether it's based on the industries, whether it's based on the solutions, you know, design and architecture. You have to have those people around you, and again, they complement everything. Even what I do, you know, I can't do none of this stuff without having the team that I've always been able to have around me at any specific role that I've had, any industry that I've worked with, etc., etc., you know. And like, the team is such a big part of it. So specialists, you know, core AEs that might cover multiple industries, they all have a really, really, you know, big role to play in everything that Salesforce does. And we have incredible teams. Like the team that I work with this year is...
It's grown massively as well, right? You were saying it. What's the number now in Salesforce overall?
It's high. I think we're touching on almost that 200 mark.
Man, that's insane. When I first moved to the
UAE,
region, I remember that
office.
small office. It looked like when Bezos started out in Amazon. It looked like just a little Salesforce sign. But it's crazy, man, to
They
think.
should have done the old Benioff office somewhere in the garage with the setup.
And they're
As
still
like a
hiring.
welcome.
They're still hiring.
Yeah. I mean, we're growing, right? We're growing massively, and you know, kudos to the new leadership that have come in as well, because they've done an incredible job in really cementing that attitude of growth, and think bigger is the big thing.
Look what they're doing with Saudi, KSA.
Yeah, I mean, the new SVP, Mohammed Al-Qatani, you know, come in at the beginning of the year, and the whole thing was think bigger, and I love that because that fits into my mindset so well. So when we saw think bigger at the beginning of the year, I was like, yeah, this is going to be a really, really crazy couple of years, and they're doing an incredible job.
Do you think next year is going to surpass this year?
I mean, every year has to
targets
surpass
are
the
bigger.
last, right? That's the whole MO. But 100%, yeah. I mean, you know, Saudi is obviously going to be massive for us. The Middle East in general is huge for us. You know, the UAE is a massive player in everything that we do, and that's why we're here. You know, that's why they brought the team here and localized everything. We have some really, really incredible customers here. We have to be able to be here to support them, and now that vision is very much coming to life, and it's accelerating very, very quickly. And it's brilliant news for our customers more so than anything else, because now, you know, I can jump in the car and go 2 minutes down the road, and I can actually spend time with my customers, sit in their office, and be in that environment where you become a part of what they do. And that's critical. Again.
Nothing's going to beat
that.
Nothing's going to beat that face to face, especially in the Middle East.
And when you're
you can
sitting
do
there,
20 VC calls, and it will never equate to you meeting them in the office even once or twice.
Absolutely. You know, when you're sitting there in their office, in their environment, learning about what they do, you're speaking to all the different people, the stakeholders that are involved in, you know, whatever it may be. You take so much more from that FaceTime that I feel you just can't get from a video call. And I go as far to say, you know, when you're sitting down with someone, you're speaking to them in a room, you always you notice what's around you and things that are going on. And that helps because you start to understand what other people are doing, and then you start to see, okay, maybe we can help you with something like this. What about this? And you start asking questions, those questions that you can't see from a camera. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's very cool to be here.
All right, I think it's time to close this out.
No, I still want to carry on with Charlie's the car collection. Where did the car fascination start? Because you talked about your granddad and obviously your dad being a mechanic.
Yeah.
So maybe I felt there was some kind of correlation there that you got into cars
I mean,
quite early.
There definitely is. Like, my dad was a mechanic, obviously, so he was always around cars. I was always around cars, loved them. My mum loves cars as well. My granddad used to be a stock car racer.
Yeah.
So he was massive into cars, yeah. And that kind of racing back in the day that was deadly. If you ever look at, you know, old 1980s videos of stock car racing, that will tell you everything you need to know.
You're still doing it now, man. I'm sure I saw you down Sheikh Zayed. That's how we got there through the traffic this morning. He's like 20 minutes early.
At 3 a.m.
Yeah. So, even my nan race cars.
No.
Yeah. My nan race cars.
So this is
for
like
a little while.
cemented in the family
So
of Maher.
it's part of the DNA.
Yeah,
it's
man,
part of
like-
the DNA,
Are you
right?
passing that on to your kids, or did you get them like these electric cars to drive around the neighborhood?
Do you know what? I hope so. You know, I always jokingly say, well, am I joking or not is the question. That my daughter Callie, I've got 2 girls, and I say, you know, she could be the first Formula One female champion.
Mate, that would be
amazing.
That would be
but
amazing.
She does love cars. She already knows the names of all the cars that we have, and she has her favourite. And she loves cars just as much as I do at this stage. So yeah, it's going to be fun to see her grow up around them as well.
A huge congrats are in order as well, Charlie, man. Like, the fact that you joined us, I think you've had an intense couple of months. Obviously, recent birth of the new one as well. So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Like G's looking at you like, yeah, I know those eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
He knows exactly the stories.
I'm surprised he made it, because like he's looking after the little one now, and this week, right?
Yeah, this weekend was great. We just did a lot of activities. She slept like a baby last night, so it's good. It makes you really appreciate,
You also
time with
wonder
the family,
where
proper sleep.
you wonder where that expression comes from, slept like a baby, right? Because the first few months, there's not
when
much of
you're
that.
like, nope.
I don't know how you guys do it, man. And you still look so fresh as well, see. But to end it, I suppose one thing that we always like to ask a lot of the guests, biggest advice that you would give or someone's given you. I know you mentioned one, but is there anything that you live by, a mantra, anything that you wake up and you tell yourself?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the whole thing about, when you wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, are you the kind of person that you want your kids to be is ingrained. But I think it's just always trying to be better. Always trying to be better. Always try and find a way to do something better. Just learn from everything that happens around you. And if you want to be the best at something, just ask yourself, why not? Why not go for it? Why not try and do it? The reality is that I fail at 99% of everything that I try and do, but I always end up somewhere good. And it's having that instilled in everything you do just makes life so easy. Like, honestly, for me, that mentality helps in everything. So if you can adapt to that, let's go for it. Why not? Let's try and do it. Life is easy.
I feel like did kids and family really change you guys? Like, I feel like a lot of people we spoke to and a lot of people I come across, like it seems to have changed them mentally. Like they become.
I feel like for me the difference is you kind of have like a long-term goal, or like a long-term project, which is your kids, to be the best person you can for them and make them the best people they can be for the future, and that just kind of changes your whole perception of everything.
It's a massive part of it. It's definitely is. Once you have kids, life is a whole new thing. Everything changes. The way you think, the way you do things, you're second guessing everything most of the time, and you're learning from them as well. You're learning, how to be around your kids and everything like that. It definitely changes everything that you do and the way that you think. But I think even for myself, that big kid is still there. Even with the kids around, like, I'm still one of them. I feel like, when
you're reliving your youth, right?
Yeah, when I'm with the kids, I'm still that big kid too. So, yeah.
No, I appreciate it. See, and I know, look, man, you're super busy. I think 2026 for you is going to be even more insane, more clients. I think you're someone that's highly respected, well known. Your energy is contagious. I hope next time, if we do a part 2, there's more tattoos. Just keep it easy on the face.
I'll come back.
Just literally comes with just face tats. So welcome Charlie back to the podcast.
Yeah,
we really need to do a Pushing the Limits live, like live.
C would be great for that, man. Like, while he's getting a tattoo.
Yeah, and
we can both. So tell me about that Q4, huh?
Yeah, that would be an interesting watch for sure. Just like grimacing the whole way through.
The older I get, though, my pain tolerance is getting lesser. Like, I really struggled with my last tattoo.
Have you had the ribs done yet?
No, that's next, man. That's next. But like the neck here and like the arm. Oh God.
Let's talk after the ribs. See how you find that.
But see, I'm sure people, if anyone wants to connect with Charlie, wait in line. He's probably got 2,000 requests that he's still not got to. But I know a lot of people try to reach out to you, man, and you're always there to help. You've always helped me, so I appreciate you coming here on a Monday in the morning. And honestly, man, we need you here, Charlie. So keep doing what you're doing, man, because it's because of you that it makes our life easier.
No, genuinely, thank you very much. And yeah, I was excited to do this with you guys. Like, a lot of respect and time for what you do, and especially some of the guests that you've had on.
He's the legend in the game. Like, it's Charlie Maher, man.
First rank now.
Oh, mate, you kicked off the new season in style, man. So we appreciate you, dude, and all the best. 2026 got your name on it, and end this year just the way you started, man.
Let's do it
with a bang.
Always, gents. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Signing off.
Peace.